Hello Dr. Kit, welcome to our demonstration. Basically, this presentation is divided into two. The very first is the slide presentation, while the second is showing the functionalities of the sprint items we committed to using the web application. So I'll start with the very first, which is the slide presentation, and here is the intro, which simply shows us that the aim of this presentation is to demonstrate the sprint backlog items for the cutting web application by Team C. Moving on to the next slide, where we have the sprint 3 planning minute meeting. Basically, this sprint started on March 25th. It started on March 25th with a scheduled date to end by April 15. However, there was an extension between April 24th to May 15, 2020 due to an unforeseen difficulties. Now, moving on to the sprint backlog items we committed to. The very first item is the admin delete to data screen. The second sprint backlog item is the contact us page, the about us page, the login page, the tool selection, which is the counter screen. While the third sprint backlog item is the tool selection screen, which simply allows us to add a 3D CAD model viewer. Moving on to the next slide, where we have the backlog items acceptance criteria for sprint 3. So I'm going to take them one after the other, each of these items, and likewise their acceptance criteria. So the very first is the admin delete tool screen, which simply allows the user to delete a tool, likewise tubulars, and also the stored tubulars and tools that has been linked between together. And of course, it should return a feedback to the user. The system should return a feedback to the user when any of this command has been initiated, carried out. Moving on to the second sprint item 2, that's the contact page, the contact us page, the about us, the login, the tool selection counter screens. For the contact page, once the user has entered the fields such as the first name, the user, the last name, the email address to make an inquiry, and then it clicks on the send button, the client email is expected to open up with the company's email address, or the client can as well submit the form through a mail service with feedback to the user. Now we move on to the about page. The about page simply consists of the individual team members with their respective pictures and the company designation for each of them, where you can see their roles they performed within the company and within the web application project. We also look at the login page, which has to do with adding a link to the login screen that opens email form with company address. That is for the administrator. Likewise, we also look at the tool selections counter screen. This simply helps us to track the number of users that visit the web application. It updates and gets the required number of users that visit the website, and basically it's for page views. Now I move on to the sprint backlog item 3, which is the tool selection screen. The tool selection screen also has the 3D CAD viewer. This is basically where the CAD viewers can pop up when various tools and tubulars has been selected. And also, before this can happen, user has to make use of the admin modify screen to include the CAD upload link via the admin modify page. Now, overall, we are happy to say that for all the sprint items we committed to do, we have met the acceptance criteria for each of them, and basically the figure we have here is just a diagram of our card viewer, an example of a tool of a 3D card viewer. So moving on to the next slide, it's simply thank you for listening. This is the end of the slide presentation. Now we're moving on to the web application just to show us the demonstration of all the functionalities of what we committed to do. Thank you. So right now we are in the Cutting web application, and I'm simply going to log in as the admin. I need to enter my username I want admin, then the password. Quickly I will make use of the on-screen keyboard, then I enter the password. Okay, and click on the login button. Oops, username and password did not match. Okay, but then as the admin I can actually retrieve my password by using the forgot password link. I click on it, then I simply wait for the email dialog box to pop up and allow me to select whichever email I need to carry out the action. Now simply where I have here is the email dialog box from the sender to the recipient, admin@specialist.com. Now this simply justifies the fact that our email requirement, the feature, is perfectly working. Now this is how the admin can simply request for a reset password. Now let me move back to the admin page, the intro page rather. I'm simply going to cancel this operation, go back to login. Now let me enter my correct credentials and the password. Okay, click on the login button. Yes, so I'm in. So right now I'm going to demonstrate the admin delete tool and tubular data. Show the functionality of the delete tool tubular data. I click on it. It takes me to the page. I'm going to select a tubular to be deleted. My outer diameter 2.5, wide the inner diameter 2.105 inches. The third is 12.5 ppf. So I click on the submit button. Yes, the system simply returns a feedback saying deleted successfully. That means that particular tubular has been deleted off from the system. Scroll down and I also select a tool for the tool that I intend to delete off. Let's go with the first option. My outer diameter is 3.375 inches. The minimum pressure PSI 1000. While the maximum pressure is 5000. Minimum temperature is 20. While the maximum temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. So I click on the submit button. The system returns back an information deleted successfully. That tells us that that particular tool has been deleted off the system. So I simply have it off. Now I could also move down to the third category within the delete stroke tubular data, which is the stored stroke tubular links. I could as well delete any option, any values here. Right now we have our tools being highlighted. These are the items for the tools, while these are the available tubulars that has been stored to be deleted. Now here is the action that is required of the user to select and delete any value of this section. I will simply go with the very first one. I will select the first one and let's just observe what's going to happen. I click on the delete button. Okay, the system returns back an information deleted successfully. That is the feedback. Okay, then I observe that of course my values has reduced. So that simply tells us that the stored tool and tubular has been deleted off. So this simply tells us that the admin deletes tubular form, likewise the tool form, and also the combination of tools and tubulars can be deleted and they are working perfectly well. So right now I'm going to move on to the next, which is to show the 3D CAD model. But before I do that, I will have to briefly show us how we can achieve that by going through the modified tool tubular, where the values of the tools and tubular can be modified. These are parts of the acceptance criteria for the 3D CAD model to have a CAD link form on the admin modified page. So basically, I will select a value and also select another value for the tool. So this is how we can easily modify our values to have the CAD model link displayed up. So right now I will simply move down to the cutting tool selection page. So right here it is expected that the user needs to select a target tubular that will aid in the process of displaying any available 3D CAD model. So I have various target tubulars. I want to go with my outer diameter should be in 6.625 inches. My inner diameter should be in 6.135 inches and the weight should be 17 ppf. I'm going to enter a well pressure of 5,000 psi. My temperature should be at 150 degrees Celsius, while the minimum restriction should be 6 inches. Then the user clicks on the search button and waits for the system to return back any available tools. So we are waiting for it to load. Simply waiting for it to load. Okay. This must be Wi-Fi at work, the strength of the internet. Okay, so I have the system simply returns two available tools, and these are the 3D CAD models. So right from the very first one here that is available to us, we can simply, as the user has the liberty to rotate the 3D CAD model and check the different features it has. From the option above, the select view option, you can rotate to check the top view. It can be zoomed to enlarge it, to enlarge the view, and also to reduce the view as well. You can also select other aspects of the view, maybe the bottom. You can also check the front of the 3D CAD model. So it gives us different views of the model, and also the isometric view of the 3D CAD model. Let's check the second tool and take a look at the 3D CAD model available here. The bottom of it, can enlarge it, can reduce, can rotate, and simply check the right view. So basically we have two CAD model views. We have two 3D CAD model views available here as a result of the tubular that we selected. And also, as the user as well, you can as well decide to also select another available target tubular. I'll go with 5.5 inches. My inner diameter should be 5.25 inches and the weight should be 12 ppf. I also enter the PSI. My PSI, let's see, for 1000 well pressure. My temperature should be at the range of 100, and the minimum restriction should be, I want to have that is at, I want to have that 3.2, then search. Oh, sorry, no tools available for this various target tubulars values. So basically we've seen how the functionality of the 3D model card viewer simply functions. Now we'll be moving on to the next. Right here is the contact page where the user can simply enter details to make further inquiries as regards any product or service via email. So as the user, I will simply enter details into all these values to make inquiries. First name, I'll use the on-screen keyboard. First name is Robert. Why the last name is Leo. Okay. My email address, I have Robert Leo at ymail.com. Okay, now tell us, how can we help you? Still my on-screen keyboard. Kindly please send me a catalog. I simply want to learn more about your product. Okay, that's fine. All right, now I'm going to hit the send button. As the user, click on the send button. Okay, now the system returns back a feedback. Message not sent. Please contact specialist tools on +44 1224 123456. So that's it. The reason why I have this message not delivering to the email is because of the fact that my local server is not currently set up to send email. But then if it were to be in place, normally the moment you click on the set button, what is supposed to happen will be either open a client email with the company's email address, or the user can submit the contact form through a mail service with the appropriate feedback to the user. But basically, this is how the contact form simply functions. This is how it works. And the next demonstration that I'm going to show us is the about page. So I'm going to click on the about page. The about page simply contains the various members, the various team members of this organization, of this company. So we have 5 in all. This Nick, and with their respective designation, Leke, Abhinav, Harry, and Louis. So right here, user can come here to also check more on each of the personnels that work basically in this company, and to also learn more about what they do and how they are able to develop this company. All right, so basically that's all about our demonstration. Thank you for your time and cheers.